Listen to this podcast now on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Why is the middle class shrinking? Why are people facing an affordability crisis while marginalized individuals called informals grow in numbers? Join me as I travel the world, speaking with people living in invisibility, the leaders working to solve it, and uncovering the hard truths shaping our economy and daily reality.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me. Taxi. Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
We are finally, even though not technically into spring, I think we're going to get there. Many parts of the country are going to see 70 degrees or warmer by tomorrow or Tuesday, and that is put me in a very good mood. Until now, of course, because look, I get Jesse Jackson is being lionized like so many Democrats are after they pass. I'm not on for stepping on any man's grave. And I think Jesse Jackson, for the most part, had good intentions in mind. I get Hymietown. I was young when that happened. I've read about it. Obviously, that was a reference to Jews in a very pejorative way, SAT word, in a very negative way. Talk more like people talk at a happy hour. And that's the thing, right? I mean, he wasn't perfect. No man is. But as far as like a politician that was around for a long time, Jesse Jackson actually seemed to at least have the right intentions, even though sometimes he did say some things that got him in trouble. He got along exceptionally well with President Trump, back in the day, and never really had anything too bad to say about him even after he became president, when so many just did that because, you know, it's the in thing to do these days, TDS. But Jesse Jackson Jr., so obviously Jackson passed away earlier this week, and Jesse Jackson Jr. implored all the politicians that were going to attend his funeral not to make it political. Just don't do that, all right? This is about honoring my dad. I get that. You know, I mean, it's your dad, right? You want to talk about your dad's legacy or your memories with your dad. Don't turn it into MSNBC meets the DNC meets some D-list podcast yelling about Trump or talking about threats to democracy and all that. And sure enough, it's exactly what happened, where we had Joe Biden make it political and Barack Obama really, really make it political, as we'll play in a second. But here's Jesse Jackson Jr., talking about how, hey, I had these three presidents at my father's funeral, and, you know, they really didn't know him. And this is true. Cut number 22. Go.
Yesterday, I listened for several hours of three United States presidents who do not know Jesse Jackson.
Yeah. So that was a shot across the bow, obviously, saying like, okay, you're there and you're talking about how great Jesse Jackson is. No, by the way, you got to get your political speech in. Obviously, all attacks on Trump, and Trump is a threat to democracy, and we're under attack, and it's fascism or authoritarianism. We all have to band together. All these things had nothing to do with Jesse Jackson. So let's go up first with, obviously, Kamala Harris, who also spoke there, almost president, not really almost, but she was the Democratic nominee in 2024. And here she is. And I can't believe she went there. She went with the last 5 words of my book, my best-selling, The Greatest Comeback Ever, Inside Trump's Big Beautiful Campaign, Unburdened by What Has Been. I thought that she got mocked for that so much that she would retire that little unburdened thing. Nope, it happened. Here's Kamala. Cut number 2, go.
Understand, as has been said, the beauty that comes after the storm when we see what is possible and what can be unburdened by what has been.
Yes!
As he once said, when a barrier falls for one of the locked out, it opens the doors for all. And that is what he told me and what he taught me and how he inspired me.
There you go. Kamala make it all about me, and using the unburdened by what has been. I thought I'd never hear it again, but here we are, and she is the front runner. We are talking Harvard-Harris. had a poll out. Harvard-Harris is run by Mark Penn. I know Mark Penn. I've done many events with Mark Penn. Mark Penn was a former senior strategist to both Bill and Hillary Clinton. Mark Penn is a Democrat, but his polls are probably about as accurate as any out there. And he now has Kamala Harris up by 15 points over Gavin Newsom for the Democratic nomination. I know what you're saying, Conch. It's March 8th, 2026. But guess what? By next year, we will be completely and totally into the presidential primary season. Think about it. Kamala Harris announced in January of 2019 that she was running for president. All right, so that's when it happens. The January after the midterms, then everybody begins to jump in, and by March, you basically almost have everybody. Trump waited a little bit longer during his primary till June, but that was a good thing because everybody else got out there, like Jeb Bush and Scott Walker and all these other people, John Kasich. And then everybody looked at the field and said, oh, here we go again. And then Trump jumped in and offered that contrast, and we know what happened from there. But anyway, yeah, so that's how it's going to be. I mean, I could talk about polls for the Democratic nomination now. You could say it's too early. Is it? Because people are going to start announcing basically less than a year from now, and it's worth noting that Kamala Harris, the worst presidential candidate of our lifetimes, with all due respect to Michael Dukakis and Walter Mondale and John Kerry and Al Gore, I mean, bad. As in spent $1.7 billion and didn't win one swing state. Bad. She's up by 15 points over Gavin Newsom, who is all over the airwaves. All over them. You cannot get away from this guy. And yet, he's trailing by 15 points. And by the way, the same poll had Newsom 6 points higher than he is now. In other words, 6 points down in 1 month. Why? Because he's like avocados. The more you have, the less you want. The more you get of Gavin, the less you want. And the irony is, the more you get of Kamala, the less you want. And the fact that outside of this funeral, she did that book tour, that was a little while back. But the less she speaks, her poll numbers slowly go up among Democrats, I guess, until they're reminded about, oh yeah, that one. The one who ran for president in 2019 and didn't even get to 2020. Right? Oh, the one that ran in 2024 and lost the popular vote for the first time of any Democratic candidate in 20 years. That one. So those are your two top choices right now. Congrats. Anyway, to get back to Jackson for a second. Here is, oh man. Here's what I don't get. The fake accent thing. All right. And Carlos, we're only going to play the first couple of seconds of this just to get people the idea, and I'll tell you when to get out. But this is cut number 1. Again, the whole pandering to black audiences by trying to sound more black. Anybody who's in that audience, I would walk out. I'd be like, all right, this is insulting. But I guess they think this is effective. This is Kamala's fake accent at Jesse Jackson's funeral that came about for no apparent reason. Cut number 1, go.
Let me just say, I predicted a lot about what's happening right now.
What's happening?
I'm not into saying I told you so, but we did see it coming.
Yeah, a lot of all right, we'll get out there, Carlos. Not ending the ing. It's saying, coming. I guess that's, to make Kamala sound more black. And and what's coming, by the way? Oh, a closed border that you were in charge of? That's what's coming? That's a good thing. That's a very, very good thing. The border czar. Here's Barack Obama. Again, he goes after Trump, doesn't do it by name. But of course, we know exactly who he's talking about. And Obama also with the fake accent, because it's a thing on that side of the aisle. Cut number 3, go.
We are living in a time when it can be hard to hope. Each day we wake up to some new assault on our democratic institutions.
Institutions. Sounding a little different there, Barack.
Setback to the idea of the rule of law. An offense to common decency. Every day you wake up to things you just didn't think were possible.
All right, Carlos. That's good enough. You get it. But again, this is a funeral. And it's like, oh, the world is going to you know what. Oh yeah, Jesse Jackson, great guy.
It's the Joe Concha Tunnel to Towers Foundation Sunday Morning Show.
Rural Americans deserve access to the best our nation has to offer, especially when it comes to health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families' health. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.